The internet is currently losing its mind over a single screenshot that claims Piper Rockelle made $5 million in 24 hours after dropping the link to her spicy content. On January 1st, 2026, the former child star and Netflix personality officially entered the adult industry, sparking a firestorm of controversy that has fans questioning everything from her financial ethics to her personal sanity. The headlines are screaming that she admitted to selling her soul for this payday, but when you look at the receipts, the reality is far more calculated than a simple deal with the devil. Today, we are following the money to see if these millions are real, why she really made the jump the second she turned 18, and the truth behind that viral soul-selling confession. To understand how we got to a $5 million day, we have to look at the narrative the public is currently obsessed with. According to viral clips circulating on X and TikTok as of January 8, 2026, Piper allegedly stood in front of a camera and told her audience she was happy to be famous because she sold her soul. This statement, paired with a dashboard showing nearly $3 million in 12 hours, created a perfect storm of outrage. Critics are calling it the ultimate fall from grace for a girl who grew up in the spotlight, while supporters claim she is just securing the bag. But as we dig into the corporate maneuvers happening behind the scenes, a different picture emerges. This is not just about one creator, it is about an industry-wide arms race involving names like Sophie Rain and Bonnie Blue, where the currency is shock value and the goal is total market dominance. Our first major question is, how did a teen influencer go from kid-friendly music videos to the Bop House overnight? The second question is, are the financial receipts actually legitimate, or are we looking at a sophisticated marketing edit? And finally, what does this move mean for the future of child stars entering the adult space? Let's start with the most shocking reality, the Bop House transition. Long before the link actually dropped, the breadcrumbs were being laid out in plain sight. Per industry reports from late 2025, Piper began appearing in content alongside Sophie Rain, one of the top earners on the Blue site, who recently claimed a $95 million total payout. This was not a random friendship, it was a business apprenticeship. The Bop House operates less like a home and more like a high-stakes production agency. By the time Piper turned 18, her audience had been warmed up for months. According to the Netflix documentary Bad Influence, which covered the dark side of kidfluencing, Piper's career was already marred by a $1.85 million legal settlement involving her mother and former squad members. This financial hit in 2024 left a massive hole in the family business. The reality is that the move to spicy content was likely a calculated financial recovery plan, not a sudden whim. The transition from a G-rated child star to an X-rated entrepreneur is never an accident. According to public records from the Los Angeles County Superior Court, the legal battles surrounding Piper's former group, the Squad, were not just about personal feelings, they were about significant financial assets. When your entire revenue stream is based on being a wholesome role model and that brand is dismantled by allegations and lawsuits, the pivot to a platform like the Blue site becomes the only viable path to maintain a multi-million-dollar lifestyle. Per the leaked agency emails from November 2025, management was already scouting for high-conversion collab partners months before the launch. This suggests that the impulsive decision to sell her soul was actually a 12-month corporate roadmap designed to maximize the shock of her 18th birthday. Now let's talk about the $5 million. This is the shock value point that is keeping retention high. Is it possible to make $5 million in a day? Per the dashboard screenshot shared on January 1st, the numbers showed $2.9 million in just 12 hours. If we look at the timeline of other megastars like Bella Thorne or Iggy Azalea, these numbers are technically possible, but historically rare. However, an analysis of the Sold My Soul clip reveals a massive contradiction. According to a fact check released on January 8, 2026, the viral video was edited. The full footage shows Piper discussing the pressures of fame, but the specific quote about selling her soul appears to be taken out of context or potentially synthesized to drive engagement. In the adult industry, Rage baiting is a standard operating procedure. By allowing a scandalous quote to go viral, the creator ensures that millions of people search for her name, leading them directly to her paywall. But we have to look deeper into the mechanics of these earnings. Many people see a $5 million number and assume it's pure profit. However, according to an industry breakdown by Business Insider in late 2025, creators in high-tier agencies often pay out 30 to 50% of their gross earnings in management and marketing fees. If Piper's agency spent $2 million on ads, bot-driven engagement, and PR placements, the $5 million receipt looks much different. This is the expectation versus reality of the industry. The public sees a young girl making a fortune. The industry sees a sophisticated machine running an expensive customer acquisition campaign. Per the analysis of her follower growth on Instagram, her fan conversion rate jumped from 0.5% to nearly 7% in the week following the scandal. That is a statistical anomaly that usually points to a heavy ad spend rather than organic viral growth. This brings us to the internal mechanics of agency contracts. Many creators in this tier are not working alone. They are backed by management teams that specialize in link drop events. These agencies often front the costs for high-end production and viral marketing in exchange for a massive percentage of the initial surge. According to unverified insiders within the Bop House circle, these record-breaking screenshots are sometimes used as promotional tools to bait more subscribers. The payout for the viewer is the truth, but the payout for the agency is the subscription fee from curious onlookers. Per social media data from early January, Piper's search volume spiked by over 400% following the sold soul rumor. Whether she said it or not, the financial result was the same. The agency model is crucial to understand because it explains why so many former child stars are moving in this direction. According to the Management Services Agreement leaked from a similar agency in 2025, these contracts often include viral growth guarantees. This means the agency is contractually obligated to create a scandal that gets the creator into the trending topics list. For Piper's case, the sold narrative was the perfect vehicle. It hits on religious themes, moral panics, and the curiosity surrounding child stars. Per the digital footprint of the Bop House accounts, they began seeding the soul narrative in cryptic comments weeks before the video actually surfaced. This was a slow-burn psychological operation designed to lead the audience to one specific conclusion: that Piper had changed and you needed to pay to see how much. According to the records of the 2024 lawsuit settlement, Piper's team was under immense pressure to find a new revenue stream that didn't rely on the kid-friendly algorithm, which had essentially blacklisted them after the exploitation allegations. The transition to adult work is the only industry where a canceled reputation can actually be converted into a premium subscription. This is the reality versus the expectation. The public expects a tragic story of a lost soul. The business reality is a strategic pivot to a niche that is immune to mainstream cancel culture. In the mainstream world, a scandal ends your career. In the adult world, a scandal is your marketing budget. We must also address the Bop House factor. This isn't just a group of friends making videos, it is a content factory. Per the public statements made by Sophie Rain on the Fresh and Fit podcast in late 2025, the house functions with strict quotas. Each creator is expected to produce a certain amount of spicy engagement daily. When Piper moved into the house, she wasn't just joining a house, she was joining a production line. According to industry analyst reports, the Bop House generated over $60 million in 2025 alone. By bringing Piper into the fold, they were effectively acquiring a new brand with an existing audience of millions of young adults who grew up with her. This is why the $5 million receipt is so plausible. The infrastructure to handle that volume of traffic was already in place. So what is the impact on her career? Per the latest industry trends, Piper is currently on track to rival the top earners in terms of raw subscriber growth. However, this comes at a cost. Mainstream brands and CPG companies, that's consumer packaged goods for those following the business side, are increasingly hesitant to work with creators who bridge the gap between child stardom and explicit work so abruptly. According to a marketing analysis by industry experts in late 2025, the crossover attempt is a high-risk gamble. You gain immediate liquid cash but lose long-term brand equity. For Piper, the $5 million, if the receipts are fully accurate, represents more than just a payday. It represents the total burning of her former bridge to Hollywood. The psychological toll is another layer the public ignores. Per a series of deleted stories from Piper's own Instagram on January 4, 2026, she hinted at the loneliness of her new position, stating that everyone wants a piece, but nobody wants to listen. This sentiment echoes the "sold my soul" theme from a perspective of emotional exhaustion rather than a literal deal with the devil. According to a 2025 study on child stars in the digital age, creators who spend their entire lives under a management team often struggle to differentiate their personal identity from their brand. If the brand requires a scandalous adult debut to survive a lawsuit, the person behind the brand has little choice but to comply. The financial reality of the adult industry is often hidden behind layers of PR. For example, according to the terms of service of the Blue site, the platform takes a 20% cut right off the top. Then there are the chatter fees. Most top creators do not chat with their own fans. They hire agencies that employ workers to handle the direct messages. These workers often take a commission on every PPV or pay-per-view video sold in the DMs. If Piper's account is making $5 million, a significant portion is being siphoned off by the platform, the management, the marketing team, and the ghost chatters. The $5 million headline is the expectation. The reality is a massive corporate overhead that requires constant, escalating drama to feed. As we move further into 2026, the Piper Rockelle story will serve as a blueprint or a warning for every other influencer reaching legal age. According to a report from The Hollywood Reporter on the influencer to adult pipeline, the economic incentives are becoming too large to ignore. When a creator can make more in 24 hours on a spicy site than they can in 5 years on YouTube, the moral argument often loses to the financial reality. The "sold my soul" clip was the ultimate bait because it acknowledged this trade-off out loud. It gave the audience permission to judge her while they simultaneously clicked the link. The final insider takeaway is this: the adult industry is no longer just about the content, it is about the meta-drama. Every leak, every controversial quote, and every legal filing is a chapter in a script designed to keep you clicking. The "sold my soul" narrative was the perfect hook for the January launch because it played into every fear and fascination the public has about child stars. As we see more creators from the influencer era reach adulthood, this playbook will become the standard. The receipt wasn't just about the money. It was a proof of concept for a new way to monetize the fall from grace. The transition of Piper Rockelle is not just a celebrity gossip story. It is a case study in the modern attention economy. Per the data from Google Trends, search interest in Piper Rockelle reached its highest point in 5 years during the first week of 2026. This was due not to a new movie or a hit song. It was due to a carefully managed scandal. The agency behind her and the Bop House infrastructure have proven that negative attention is just as bankable as positive attention, provided you have the right paywall at the end of the tunnel. According to the latest revenue projections, Piper is expected to gross over $30 million by the end of her first year in the industry, making her one of the most successful pivots in digital history. If you want to understand the deeper mechanics of how these agencies control the narrative and why the Blue site is becoming the retirement home for influencers, you need to see the full picture. This is just one layer of the velvet rope. To see how other top earners are manipulating the algorithm and what really happens behind the scenes of these creator houses, make sure to check out the Velvet Rope Industry Secrets playlist. We break down the contracts, the ghostwriting, and the PR stunts that the creators don't want you to see. The game is being played right in front of you. It's time you learn the rules. The story of Piper Rockelle is just the beginning of a much larger shift in how fame is bought, sold, and traded in the adult industry.